What's up, everybody? This is Michael at FABS. It's been a little while since I've done some videos. We've just been busy. It's the holiday season. As you can see, we've been working on our showroom, trying to get it in order. Finally got my buddy Pete, who's a cabinet guy, to get my cabinet set up for me, and I'm working on getting the stone fabricated. I'm trying to do different edges and put a seam in here, do a raised bar, so the customers can kind of see what an install looks like and what a kitchen will look like set up. We're going to do some wood shelving here. I haven't quite decided what to do on the back, but I'm going to try to have it all done by the end of the week this week. And as you can see by the decorations, it's Christmas. My fish tank hasn't been filled up and clean, but there's been a lot going on. Of course, we've had the COVID, you know, we've got all of our masks and things like that. I've had, my guy who does the videos was out for a couple of weeks with COVID. He's had a rough year with his family. Pretty much everybody had COVID, and his grandmother passed, his mom got real sick, so now one of my fabricators and helpers is out with COVID, so it's been kind of hard for us this year. But seeing as Christmas, I'm trying to move some inventory, the stuff that not on consignment or anything that I own. Try to give people discounts at Christmas, and I try to use what we sell this, you know, to give my team bonuses and nice Christmas gifts and things like that. So I'm running 10% off, not just the stone, but the whole install. That's sink, that's fabrication, that's any kind of charge. 10% off the whole job through till the first of the year. So we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's like we got 13 different colors, and some are quartz, some are granite. And that's a pretty good deal. You're not going to get that deal anywhere else. We've got, I would say we're pretty close to having the best prices around. But when you shop for granite, you don't necessarily want to just shop for price. You want to get the best quality, and we hands down got quality locked down in this area for sure. I know there's some other people out there that do good quality work, but ours is top notch in this area, that's for sure. And I do pride myself on that. But I wanted to do a video and show you guys how I polish a zero radius sink, a sink with small radiuses. 0.5 radius is what they actually are. They're not totally square, but there is a technique to it. I do my flats first with my first 3 or 4 pass, and I switch over to my radiuses, and then I go over the whole sink with that. Gary's going to film it, so if you're a fabricator, may help you gain a little speed on your sink polishing. If you're a shop owner or a shop supervisor, it might give you some information on how to train your guys to polish a zero radius sink. And if you're a homeowner or somebody thinking about buying granite, it'll just give you a little more insight into the world of granite fabrication and what it takes to get your job out to your home. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn something, and we'll get started. First thing you do at the beginning of the day when you start to polish, you oil your machine. And if I'm polishing with that machine all day, I'll periodically oil it. So just put some oil in there, plug it in, it'll make its way through the machine. And pads are a little bit everywhere over here because this is my station, and I'm here and there. So I'm going to start. I always use these Viper Elites. The rough ones we use for the inside so that they can curve around. So I try to keep them separated, but when other people come over here and use my station, they get kind of mixed up a little bit. So you can see these are a little harder. These are the newer pads, which reminds me I need to make a Braxton Bragg order. So there we go. And I'll leave these over here because I'm not going to use those until I go to the inside. And I'm going to start with these, which I'm going to leave these over here so they don't blow all over. But you're going to start with your, on these Viper Elites, you'll start with a number 1 pass. I already stoned this. I stoned it with a 36 stone and an 80 stone. So I've got a pretty good starting point. I always use water. So I'll turn my water on there. I mean, I don't turn a ton of water on. Just enough to make some mud like that. And now I'm just going to start on my flats. Like I said, we'll get to the curve later and I'll explain to you the why. So, I'm not going to have Gary film all of this and me polishing, but you'll get to see a little bit of it, and then we'll talk again when we get to another step. Nobody wants to watch me polish the third now. Main thing, you want to keep your pad flat. You want to keep it 90 degrees. I always cut inside my line there. And one thing I've been preaching to my guys is to make this rollover a little bigger. It looks nicer. It kind of hides any, I don't know, any imperfections a little better. It just all around looks better. You get any chips, it takes them out. So I put a good rollover on that upper edge. And then I just roll it down. You want to try to get it nice and flat before you roll it over though. You want that to be uniform. And the stones you start with will really help you do that. And I always hit the bottom as well. Now I got that side done with the one pad. I'm going to go to these other three sides with the one pad, the two pad, and the three pad. These three pads here, do the same thing all the way around. Then I'm going to switch my backer pad and switch to my softer pad, and I'll go over all that when we get to that. So I'm going to get busy on getting these done with these couple pads, and we will touch base again right here in a bit. Alright, as you can hear, David's fabbing in there, and we're trying to get the jobs out the door, so I'm going to try to talk loud. So like I said earlier, I used the 1, the 2, and the 3 with a 4-inch hard backer. Did the flat areas. I didn't do anything on the inside radiuses. So now what I'm going to do is switch to the 3-inch soft backer, and of course I've got to do my 1, 2, 3 again, but I'm going to go through the whole set of pads. But I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 on the radiuses, and then once I get to this 4th pad, I'm going to do the radius. I'm going to go all the way around. These 3 pads here, they're not strong enough, gritty enough to really shape this. That's why I use the hard backer with the 3 shaping pads, so I can keep it flat and have, like, you know, perfect. And that's why I stop it there. If I went ahead and went through all the pads on these flat ones with this 4-inch backer pad, then by the time I hit the corners with these, I end up going out, 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 and out. And then I end up just having to repolish them with the pads already polished them. So in my opinion, it is the 100% fastest way to hit the flats with the 3 pads, then stop, go do my radiuses with those 3 pads, and then go ahead and do the whole sinkhole with the remaining 3 pads. That's just, I figured that out through doing it time again. That's the way I train my guys to do it, and we'll see how long it took me on this one. I'm not breaking those speed records, I guarantee you that. You know, I should make a pretty decent time. And I always, when I start with my first pad on these inside radius, I always stay dry. I always keep the water turned off. That way I can see if I get all my scratches and indentions out, and I can make sure I went out far enough to cover. You know, when I polish these flats, I polish them as far in as I can. But I want to just make sure that I get them perfect with this first pad. And I can't see it that good if I run water. Then when I switch to the 2-pad, I'll run water. And then 4-pad, I usually go dry, and then the last 3, I go water all the way around. So you see how this pad kind of bends around the backer? Now you want to make sure you don't jump on top, because you will screw up the top and have to top polish it. But all right, I'm going to show you kind of how I do it. You guys go ahead and start working again. I'm going to make noise myself. They was nice enough to quit so I could talk a little bit. So here we go, guys. This is what most people have the most trouble with. We're doing this little turn and keeping it uniform. So I got a big divot right there. That's pretty deep. I may have to use some epoxy on that one if I can't get it all the way out, but it looks like it's going to come out pretty good. But that's why you go dry. I wouldn't have been able to see that if I'd have went wet. See how far I come out on that? Had I used every one of my pads and went all the way up to there, that I'm going to have to repolish with all the pads. And each pad I do on these, I'm going to go out a little further. So it just saves you from redoing things over and over and over. As you can see, this one here, well, you could see it before I touched it, don't have any really deep cuts or crevices in it. So I'm not going to have to spend as much time on this one trying to get it now. All right. So that's my 4 radiuses hit with the first pad. Got them nice and smooth, got all the cuts and all that out of them. Now I'll go wet with my 2 and I will dry with my 4. With my 3. Once I get to the 4, which is the pad I'll go all the way around, I'll holler at Gary again, let him come in here and you guys can see me go all the way around. If you want to see me polish the whole sink, you know, from start to finish, just put it in the comments and we'll make a video doing the whole thing. But, you know, most people want these videos as short as possible and get us to the point as quick as possible. So that's what I'm trying to do, show you all the important things. And, you know, that way you don't have to sit there and watch me polish. It's kind of loud in here. But anyways, once I get to that point, we'll get back recording and let you see it. And then, of course, we'll show you the finished product and pull the sink up and let you see how it looks. All right, so I've already hit the corners with the 1, 2, and 3 pad. Now I'm gonna switch over to this 4 pad with the 3-inch backer. I've already did all the shaping and I have blended the corners into my lines here. And you know, now I'll just kind of show you. You saw me working with just the flats and stopping, and you see me working with just the corners and stopping. Now I'll go all the way around with these last 3 pads. Don't have to worry about putting any dips in the flats or anything like that because these pads aren't very aggressive. So here we go. The main thing you got to worry about here is not pushing too hard and slipping up and hitting up there, because these will bend and then you got this rollover on top. So, and the more you polish, the slicker this gets. So it's real easy to do. Try to make sure if I slip, it's off the bottom. So bear that in mind. But you can usually move pretty quick on these last few pads. If you've done most of the work with the first 3 pads, now you're just kind of making it shine. Number 5, and if you have done your job properly with the first couple pads, you can really move quick with these last few because you're just shining. You're not doing any shapings. There's no reason at all you should be spending 20, 30, 40 minutes with these pads. It's a waste of time. New guys don't understand. They don't know when they're done with the pad and not, and that's one of the most important things to figure out, when they're finished with each pad. But you can keep polishing with this thing for an hour and not make it any shinier, and you know, you'll get the same that you would have got if you just spent 10 minutes with it. So Gary, you can keep on filming these last 2 pads, or you can just stop and we will we'll look again once I finish with these and pull the sink up to you. It's not going to take me long. if I'm having trouble getting a shine or whatever. But this Luna Pearl came from Easy Stone. It's a really, really nice material. All the slabs they send me are top notch. I love Easy Stone and Obby. I hope one day to be able to repay them for all the good they've done to help Countertop Kings, giving me material and on consignment and always keeping me stocked up and full. You know, coming at the right time when we ask them to. I mean, I can't say enough good things about them. They're just awesome. So it's nice to be able to have distributors that you become friends with and really take care of you and really take pride in what they do and really care about what you do. But this ain't a video about Easy Stone. It's just when I start talking about them, it's easy to get going. All right, so as you can see, we've got it all polished. We've got a nice rollover on it. It's still a little wet, but I mean, you can obviously see the polished part looks shinier than the top part, so you know it's going to be all right. I think that we're going to be putting in it. I can just pull it up with my hand right now real quick. So, you know, I always give a little bit of overhang of the stone, which, you know, it's going to set something like that. You guys kind of get the idea. It's got the small little radius to go with the small little radius on the sink. If it wasn't a 0 radius, of course, it had the bigger radius. And those are a little quicker and a little easier to polish, but these are a nicer, cleaner look in the sink. These sinks are a little bit pricier than the other ones, but they're just a nicer sink. Sometimes you get what you pay for. So, guys, that's it. Actually, let me show you all the tools I used here. And then we'll wrap it up. So I used the Makita grinder, not with this pad on it, but I always use Makita grinder. I've got another grinder I'm going to do a video on to talk to you about, and it's done pretty good. I used a 36 stone first after I cut it with the blade. I used this Talon 5-inch blade, come from Braxton Bragg. They're freaking awesome. I think they run about 16 bucks a pop. I love them. Just as good as a $30, $40 blade. Then I used this Green Max 36 grit wheel. I think this one came from Levi. They send a truck around every week. And then I got this Magnum 80 stone that I used after the 36. This comes from Braxton Bragg. Believe it or not, these stones are a little bit different. Some will last longer, some have less bounce. Stones, if you don't use them correctly, can hurt you, but if you use them correctly, they're very, very nice to have. It allows you to get a lot of your chips out, get a nice flat edge. Then after the Makita and the stones, of course, I used the Viper Elite pads that come from Braxton Bragg. I think they're about 16, 17 bucks a pad, or you can get the set for like 107 bucks. I may be a little off on the price, but it's close. So this is my set for the flats that don't have a lot of flex to it because they're newer. And this is my set for the curves. As you can see, they've got a lot of flex to them because they're used. And then I'll roll them and break them. That way they fit down in there really well. And I use that with the Quick 6 polisher. Quick 6 pneumatic polisher. You can see it's taped up and everything. That's because when I first started the company, I got a little bit of my PVC pipe. I got a little bit of PVC stuck in the water feed. and it wasn't feeding, so I had to cut that to disassemble the polisher to get the PVC out. But January will be 3 years since I've been using that grinder or that polisher. They run somewhere around under 200 bucks, like $1.80 or something. And we don't have a dryer on our air compressor. I do have these little things to get the air and all that out. So just saying, for 3 years on a freaking air polisher, in a business that doesn't have a dryer on their compressor, that's freaking pretty awesome. But that means my guys are doing what they're supposed to do and oil it and everything. But anyways, guys, I'm sorry I haven't been putting videos out all the time. I really try. Like I said, Gary's been sick and we've been super busy. So I know it's a little late. I hope all y'all had a great Thanksgiving. Christmas is coming up. I hope Gary can get this video out today. I hope all y'all have a Merry Christmas. If you're local here and need any stone, come by and see us. We got the best deals of the year going on right now, and you'll never find a deal like this anywhere else, I guarantee it. And if you do, it's probably going to not be from a reputable company that's insured and all that. So come on down and see us, and thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.